Hi, my name is Nikita and I just recently finished the grade 10 academic English course. So I just wanted to talk about some important things students should know before choosing whether to go into academic English or applied English.
The reason I picked applied instead of academic is because academic, sometimes the speed is very high pace and you don't really have enough time to sit down and think about what you're going to write about or what you're going to present about. So in applied, I think it's just more slowed down and more at your own pace. So instead of getting 4 days to do a project, you would get a week and you just get a better understanding of all the things you need to learn.
Some of the reasons I personally decided to go into academic English is because it would allow me the opportunity to go into university as well as college. So then I knew that I would have the choice and opportunity and the freedom to decide in the future if I didn't know what I wanted to do when I was in grade 8. Also, I found that it's a lot easier to go from something that is harder into something that's a lot more simple. So by choosing academic, if I found that it was too difficult for me, I could have made the transition into applied English and it wouldn't have been as hard as going from applied to academic. Also, I wanted an environment that was a lot more independent, where I could express my own opinion and be more creative and be less guided by a teacher. So I thought that academic English would be a lot better for me because of that. And then I was also looking for a course that had more of a challenge because I don't like to be bored or have nothing to do. So I always wanted to have something that would not be extremely hard, but would pose a challenge so I would not get bored all the time.
Key things that parents might have to know about applied is your kid isn't stupid or any less smarter than a person in academic. It's just that they're a slower learning pace. Some parents push too hard on their kids to go and achieve academic and they want them to succeed at their level instead of their own kid's level. So some parents will be like, you're going to be a doctor when you grow up, or you're going to be a scientist, or they're going to put goals for you that you don't even want.
Some of the strengths that I think an academic student should have when they're choosing English, the academic English program, would be a lot of independence, but also knowing when you need help and when you need to ask for help so that you can accomplish the task properly, but not always being really dependent on other people or on the teacher. It's a course where you have to be able to kind of speak up and say your own opinion and be creative, because when you're writing things, you don't want to copy what other people are saying and you want to put it in your own words so that other people understand what you're trying to tell them. You also have to learn to interpret things your own way so that not everything is the same as the person next to you. And then you also have to be able to understand and accept criticism so that when doing different projects and new essays or something like that, you can improve and you can get a better mark than you had before.
You get a lot of templates and you just get more time on projects, and some templates that helped were a hamburger template. So it would be the first paragraph, the points, and the expressions, and the closing, and the conclusion sentences. And you just get a template and it'll just be a better understanding of everything. And there was some strategies called tag, and he was telling a reader what you thought about their project. So if someone did a project, you would tag on them, so you tell them something good and then you'd ask them what they did and then you give them some advice that they could work on for next time. So it's a 50-50. You're not insulting them and you're not being too nice, you're doing 50-50.
Some things that I learned in English that helped me a lot, I find in my other classes, are especially through oral presentations or through speeches, and we also did debates. So it kind of helps a lot with communication with other people, and it helps you learn to think on your feet and develop ideas and opinions quickly, but also really thoroughly so you can explain yourself properly, because English is pretty much just explanation over explanation over explanation.
Some of the most memorable things that I did in the grade 9 applied English class is we went to the Rosenthal Center because our unit was reading Mice and Men, the book. So we wanted to get a good life goal and look at it from another perspective. And we saw different people and how they worked with them, and some of them even taught us some sign language and we learned some new things.
When I first started English, it wasn't actually my favorite subject. I always found that I preferred math and science. But as we got into the harder levels and reading books and everything, I found that English really started to grow on me. So some things that I remember and that I really liked about the English courses was one of them in grade 9. We had song battles in our class. So like 2 people would go against and they'd pick one of their favorite songs, and then we'd decide which one we liked better. And then we'd use that to kind of make connections to poetic devices like metaphors and allusions and allegories.
You kind of have to sit down and talk to your parents and say, maybe I'm not at a fast learning pace in math or English, and you just work slower or you just need more time.
The type of student that I would recommend for academic English is somebody who is independent but is able to tell when they need help and when they're struggling, because you have to be able to put in the effort, and it's not always just the teacher who has to tell you if you're having a problem. You have to be able to tell them that I need help, and then they can help you. So it's like a 50-50 effort.
And what the parents should know about the Applied program is not to bring your child down even though they're in Applied. You can teach them different strategies and help them how they cope with different things.
And then something that I think parents should know about the academic English program is that we do have a lot of in-class assignments, so parents aren't always going to be there to help their child kind of finish the assignments, and so then the students have to be able to kind of explain things themselves and put in a lot of the effort, because English is a lot of explanation and justifying your answers.
And what I really want students to know is that you don't want to bring yourself down when you go into Applied, because a lot of kids would say, oh, I'm too dumb and I'm not an academic and I'm not very smart. But it's just that you learn at a different pace and you just take your time.
And finally, the academic English program is a lot of work, and you have to be prepared to do the work and not kind of just slack off and hope to pass the course, because it's a course where you can come in and do what's required and to get a passing mark, but it's also a course you can go in and go above and beyond and then do really well and actually have a lot of fun with it. Thank you.